Last time on Demon Rush. During the commotion of the Great Battle, Rush was attacked by a lower rank demon. The demon fiercely chased him throughout the city, Rush pulling some sneaky maneuvers to try and destroy it, but ultimately it just would not stop coming after him. He led it into a construction area where he was finally able to kick it into an electrical fence and then smash it over the head with a pipe, in which the demon exploded with this Imperium dust and Rush breathed it in by accident. There, 3 demons engaged Rush, but were stopped by Karner, a warlock from hell who wants to take Rush down into the depths. This dimension they were in is called Limbo, which is a space between worlds on the way to hell. Karner explains that there are 9 floors to hell, but first, you'll have to get through this big test. As they enter this mysterious door in Limbo, you can see a sort of laboratory where the occult operate. A lot of these other looking warlock characters wear similar clothes to Karner, but we don't get introduced to them. We do see them conducting some sort of demonic experiments. Presumably this is an area that Karner also operates out of. But mysteriously, why was he out in Earth and these guys are stuck in here? Karner leads Rush through some dark corridors, deeper and deeper into this Limbo headquarters. Rush looking around and observing, where in the heck am I going? There they come along a great wall filled with weapons seemingly floating in the air. All sorts of two-handed swords, axes, shields, daggers, and more. Karner telling Rush to pick one because he's going to need it. As Rush looks them over, he sees the one that he wants, a long black katana. Rush grabs the sword and inspects it, saying, "Badass, who doesn't want a katana, right?" Karner motions him to follow this way. There, they come upon a strange door with a demonic marking on it. It seems that there is some sort of rumbling sound coming from this door. There, we're introduced to 2 human characters, one wielding daggers, who kind of seems like some sort of rogue punk, and the other, perhaps military, wearing a tactical vest and carrying a 2-handed axe. "You are about to face an enemy far stronger than yourselves," Karner says. "If you want to get out of here alive, survive." So we don't know if these humans were brought here by Karner specifically, but what we do know is that they're all about to face some powerful enemy. Karner has gathered seemingly the 3 strongest humans that he has found and brought them into this place to all fight to the death. But why? What is the purpose of all of this? He smirks and leaves, and that's when we see the claws of a huge monster jump over the wall and land in front of Rush and the others. And here we finally see the demon Jarcool. Looks like a cyclops, super jacked ogre. Something that you don't want to fight even if you have a nice weapon like a katana. Get that thing away from me. This thing is massive, simply towering over the humans, and it's hungry. Rush is quite terrified. This beast is way larger and more powerful than the other demon he fought, so he pleads for the other humans to join him and fight together so that they can get out of this alive. But the one punk rogue-looking guy says, "Whatever, kid, just stay out of my way." So you can assume that this guy has fought some demons out on the surface of Earth just like Rush did. Perhaps he was able to fight those with relative ease, but not this one. The demon Jarcool just simply grabs his face and smashes it into a wall, literally exploding his head. And that's it for the bandit. His slunched over body slides down the wall in blood, his legs are mangled, and this beast is definitely way too strong for these humans. The bandit starts to turn into Imperium dust just like the demon did, and Jarcool is absorbing it, sucking it in. It's clear that this is what it wants, to feed off the Imperium of anything that it can kill. Rush recognizes this very quickly. He sees that the demon is just simply ignoring the rest of them and going straight for this Imperium dust. As he's breathing it in, his eye almost kind of phases out as if he's going unconscious. He's so desperate for this Imperium dust that he disregards everything else. That's when the second human uses the opportunity to use a cheat code, whipping out his Glock 9mm and firing shots at the back of the demon. It appears that these bullets are just doing minor damage to the demon, if anything, just bouncing off him, and the demon simply ignored it until he was done breathing in that Imperium, which took a total of 6 seconds. Rush, observing all of this, it's useful information he may need in this fight. It's time for the demon's next meal as he charges in at the bald human, smashing him in the face with a backhand, doing incredible amounts of damage and sending him flying. This poor guy gets flown back, bouncing off the ground, and that's when Jarcool jumps above him. The broken human simply trying to get away, but no, he is going to get thunder smashed, completely disintegrated by an overhand smash, and this poor guy is done for. He begins to also turn into Imperium dust, and Jarcool breathes it in. Rush begins counting. 1, 2. He knows the demon will be preoccupied breathing in this Imperium dust, so he grips his katana, blasts in, slides underneath the legs of the demon, and hits Jarcool with his most powerful strike. Slicing off the leg of the demon. He took advantage of the fact that Jarcool would be preoccupied going after Imperium, ignoring everything else, and used that opportunity to strike Jarcool in a vulnerable spot, slicing off his leg and giving Rush the ability to actually have a chance in this battle. Jarcool drops to one knee, roaring in pain. He's disoriented. When he was breathing in the Imperium, it seemed like he was in some sort of trance, and he was just snapped out of it by having his leg chopped off. He looks around for Rush, and then finally sees Rush behind him with the most menacing, cool, and badass look as Rush is breathing in the rest of that Imperium that Jarcool so desperately desired. This enemy is far stronger than Rush, and if he's gonna have any chance of beating it, he needs to gather as much Imperium as possible. As we've seen so far from the series, drinking in this Imperium permanently makes you stronger. It takes you to the next level. And by even getting just over half of another human's Imperium, that human may also have absorbed some Imperium from demons out on the surface, only adding more to it. Meaning that by drinking it in, he'll gain increased strength and speed. Jarcool smashes Rush with a backhand, but this time Rush is able to guard himself and gets pushed back. But as he breathes out and recovers, he notices that he really didn't take too much damage. Breathing in this Imperium plus the one from the surface, a beast with enormous muscles like this should crush him in a single blow like the other humans, but Rush was able to defend against it. So while it still did damage to Rush, Rush can tell that his defense and his toughness have gone way up. It may not look like it on him, but he is way stronger than he was before. Karner smirks because he can see that Rush is able to quickly assess situations and find solutions in order to overcome obstacles that are way too big for him. As he says, absorbing the Imperium of one demon is not enough to break one's limiter, but after seeing Jarcool go after it, Rush understood quickly that this is what they were all fighting for. He took advantage of his preoccupied enemy, striking his opponent with a devastating blow, and then stole the Imperium for himself. This boy, he could be the one. So it's pretty clear that Karner is trying to find some special human. We don't really know why yet, but it's obvious that he really only just wants one of the strongest humans or beings that he can find. And so far, Rush is doing a pretty damn good job. Here we see Jarcool cast a spell, breathing out a massive beam of fire energy, and this completely catches Rush off guard. All the attacks so far have been physical attacks, but now he's having a spell used against him, which he is completely unfamiliar with. He darts away, running around the room, but unfortunately, he does get tagged, and his shoulder gets burned up extremely bad. Jarcool coughs out smoke. He's used the extent of his Imperium, and Rush realizes that he was using that dust for energy. He needs more of it to breathe more of this fire, and right now he is pretty much incapacitated. This is Rush's chance. As he's choking on himself, Rush takes a thrusting stance and launches himself at Jarcool, stabbing him directly through the eye all the way out the back of his skull. Again, just an insanely badass picture here of Rush. He looks so cool and menacing. Rush twists the sword and rips it out through the top of Jarcool's head, splitting it in half, blood splattering everywhere. The demon collapses, falling on its back, and now it begins to burst with Imperium dust. Rush, standing in front of the demon, can't help but just breathe all of this in, but I think by this time he wants to anyway. You can see his muscles visibly expand and grow larger. This isn't the Imperium of one lower rank demon. This guy, Jarcool, had probably absorbed 10 plus humans, and again, veins pop out of his face as he feels a surge of new power flow through his body. Now the door opens. Rush is the victor and the only one who was able to survive this test. "You have promised, boy," Karner says. "What is your name?" Rush Cohen. So now we have Rush's last name, Rush Cohen. Karner says, "Come with me, Rush Cohen. The celebration is about to begin." And Rush is like, "Celebration for this?" Karner kind of smirks and says, "We captured Michael, one of the 4 great archangels. Lucifer will speak soon. We must travel to the first floor of hell for the ceremony." The first floor of hell is the sin of lust. They go to a massive, creepy looking door. Karner activating magic, and the door kind of rips itself open. And here, the final page of the chapter, we see the first floor of hell. Spires and lava and cliffs. Humans being kicked and whipped into this giant bowl as a Goliath statue of a man with a woman broken apart depicts that first sin of lust. Now, why are all these humans being sacrificed into this giant bowl? You're gonna find out in the next chapter. That's all we have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please make sure to tell your friends about Demon Rush and get them on it, put them on it. Also, we just got the prototype beta box in for the trading card game, so I'm gonna open that on a live stream tomorrow. Be on the lookout for that one, boys, and I'll see you guys for the next chapter.